Do you think you know Jason Voorhees, the masked killer from the Friday the 13th franchise? May seem predictable, but believe me, there are dark secrets, untold stories, and terrifying details behind the character that go far beyond what you've seen in the films. Today you'll discover everything from Jason's macabre origins, the mysteries behind his seemingly immortal body, the disturbing facts about his iconic mask, and the secrets that even the most loyal fans don't know. Stay until the end, because some of these revelations will completely change the way you view this horror icon. Jason Voorhees is undoubtedly one of the most recognizable villains in horror cinema. But behind the bloody machete and hockey mask lies a narrative full of dark layers, psychological mysteries, and even conspiracy theories that still intrigue fans and critics today. What makes Jason so different from other killers of the 80s? The answer lies in the secrets of his creation and the contradictions of his story. The first secret begins at Crystal Lake, the infamous camp that became the scene of inexplicable tragedies. Officially, Jason drowned as a child due to the negligence of the camp counselors. But some believe Jason never died that day. Some versions suggest he survived hidden in the forest, living like a savage until the moment of his revenge. This ambiguity was created intentionally, leaving the question open: is Jason an ordinary human being, or has he harbored something supernatural from the beginning? Another curious point concerns his body. Jason has been stabbed, shot, burned, drowned, electrocuted, and even blown to pieces. But he always returns, stronger and more brutal. Many believe he is a kind of zombie, resurrected by demonic forces. Others say the rage and trauma of his childhood engendered supernatural power within him, transforming him into something beyond human. The frightening detail is that, in several films, his body shows signs of decomposition, as if he were truly dead, yet still moves with superhuman strength. And the famous hockey mask. It became Jason's ultimate symbol, but did you know it only appeared in the third film? Before that, Jason wore a cloth sack over his head. The mask came about almost by accident, as a practical solution to hide the character's disfigured face. What few know is that this mask was inspired by a real model worn by Canadian hockey players in the 1950s. And that it already carried a sinister reputation even before appearing in the movies. Since then, it has become inseparable from Jason's image, almost as if it had its own energy, an extension of his curse. But the secrets don't stop there. There's a detail that few fans have noticed. Jason rarely speaks. In fact, he practically never utters words. This absolute silence increases the mystery surrounding his mind. Does he think? Does he feel? Some psychologists who have analyzed the character claim that Jason represents the materialization of repression and hatred, a being who doesn't need words because he is the very incarnation of violence. His silence is more frightening than any scream. Another dark secret involves Jason's relationship with his mother, Pamela Voorhees. She was the one who initiated the murders in the first film, avenging her son's supposed death. But some say Jason would never have become the monster we know if it weren't for his mother's obsession. There are theories that Jason, even after his death, was brought back by a supernatural bond with Pamela, as if his soul were eternally linked to hers. This would explain why, in some films, Jason acts as if he obeys his mother's voice in his head. And did you know that there are alternate versions of Jason that were almost used in the scripts? In one, Jason had telepathic abilities. In another, he was a being possessed by an ancient demon. Some ideas were discarded for seeming too much, but they made it clear that Jason was never intended as just a simple camp killer. He was shaped into something greater, a symbol of collective fear, an entity that spans generations and can never truly be defeated. What makes Jason even more disturbing is that he doesn't choose his victims for who they are, but for what they represent: young, innocent, distracted, full of life. It's as if Jason is the shadow that appears to remind us that happiness can be destroyed in seconds. This characteristic has made him even more iconic because he is undriven by pleasure or personal revenge. He is simply inevitable, the very embodiment of death that arrives when least expected. Now, stop and think, is Jason Voorhees just a fictional character? Or does he represent something deeper, like the human fear of the inevitability of death, unresolved trauma, and violence that inhabits us all? Perhaps this is the scariest secret. Jason was never just a movie villain. He's a mirror of our own fears, a distorted reflection of what we avoid facing. And now that you know Jason Voorhees' dark secrets that few know, I want to hear your opinion. Which of these revelations shocked you the most? Leave your comment below, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more scary content like this, and share this video with that friend who's also a horror fan. After all, the more people who know the truth, the harder it will be to sleep at night.